Hello, Dizzy in Singapore, Malaysia. Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and with the help of my GoPro camera, I'm going to show you how I cut the photo gray transitional gray lenses with anti-glare coating for your RayBan 2132 new Wayfarer color 901L, which is the classic shiny black in a 55 eye size. Let's open up your frame out of the box. Set all that there. This is your RayBan case, your RayBan frame, your RayBan cleaning cloth, which was upside down. Let me rotate it back and put it back in there correctly. Now, this is your frame before I begin. RayBan sends it to me with this little clear protective sleeve so it does not get scratched during shipping. If they think it's a good idea to send one, well, by golly, I'm going to put a second one on the other side so there's no way it could ever be damaged during shipping. But this is it with your crooked G15 sticker, which almost always happens. Only rarely do I ever see one that's put on straight. But the first thing I want to do is take the clear lens, take the lenses out of your frame. I'm going to set those down there for now. And we're going to get these ready for Geek Chic. I'm going to put your frame, your Italian RayBan new Wayfarer frame, into my Italian Santanelli LE1000 patternless edger. The stylus is now tracing the shape of your right lens, and then it's going to move over and trace the shape of your left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. You buy the frame and you get free high-quality clear prescription or non-prescription lenses. And of course, Dizzy in Singapore, Malaysia, you have upgraded to the transitional lenses with an anti-glare coating. So I'm going to pull your lens shape up there, and if these were prescription lenses, I would put in your pupillary distance. Because they're not, I'm going to have it match the frames. This is a polycarbonate lens that I'm going to cut on the soft cycle, which means it just cuts a little slower because of the anti-glare coating. And this is a Xyle frame, which is an old school name for plastic. So the first thing I'm going to do is take your lenses out of the protective sleeves, put one down there. Let's do the other one. Take the foam off wrapper around that. Get rid of those. And this is a block that I need to put onto the lens while it is cutting. The block is held on there. It's just a little 3M sticky pad. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to stick that on the block. I'm going to pull this tape away to remove this sticky side, and I'm going to stick that onto the lens. I'm going to do the same thing for the left lens. Put that on there, pull away the tape, and put the sticker. Now, that anti-glare coating that you have, I'm going to explain what it does later, but one of the features about it is it's a hydrophobic lens, meaning that it's slippery, or it just hates water and becomes slippery when cutting. So I'm going to put that in there just to protect it so it does not slip while it's in the chuck. The chuck is now closing, and I'm going to hit start. The first thing that's going to happen is the calipers. Actually, let me hit start, because I know from experience these cut a little bit large, so I'm going to take it down just about 1/10 of a millimeter. Now I'm going to hit start. The 52 in this frame cuts like a charm. That's actually what I'm wearing, the new Wayfarer in the 52 eye size, color 6053, which matches my blue pinstripes. The 55, which you have ordered, has a deeper bevel, so I have to bring the lens down a little bit smaller than I normally do. Now, the calipers are tracing the concave side of the lens first, which is closest to your eyelashes. Now it's moving over to trace the convex side of the lens, measuring the thickness to know where to put the bevel. The actual cutting wheel is down here on the left. It's that lighter color wheel that looks like sandpaper. That's going to grind away the polycarbonate material. This wheel in the center with the channel is what's going to put the bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. Now, we'll have to close the door, but for now I just want you to see as your lenses touches down on the cutting wheel. So the lenses that you ordered, they are, I'm going to put that sticker on a little bit better. I can do that better. There we go. There we go. Your lenses are made out of polycarbonate, which is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They are virtually unbreakable. They are bulletproof up to 22 caliber and has both UVA and UVB protection. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin from overexposure. Your eyes are 8 times more sensitive, so these are now permanent sunscreen for your eyes. The other feature about that you ordered, the anti-glare, it eliminates glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain because of oncoming lights, but also from computer screens, street lights, stop lights, fluorescent lights, overhead lights. It's also a reflection-free lens. When someone's looking at you, they won't be looking at their reflection. You can see how the lens on the right, which has no coating, shows the reflection of the lights overhead, and it makes much better eye contact, much better cosmetic appeal. Plus, if someone takes a picture with a flash, you don't see the flash lit up like you would in this lens, so you won't ever have that issue. The third feature that I like is that it comes with the best scratch coating in the business. So the wheel is done cutting, and now it's putting the bevel onto the lens. So it's an anti-glare lens, it's an anti-reflection lens, and then thirdly, it comes with a great scratch coating, scratch protection. Nothing on God's green earth is unscratchable, not even diamonds, but this coating really will go a long way to prevent scratches on your lenses. Now, if you notice, water has just kicked in. It's washing away any optical debris that is around the edge of the lens, which is kind of crazy because in a minute, as soon as it comes out, I'm going to put a lot more on there, but the machine doesn't know that, so it thinks it's doing me a favor right now. Up until now, the lens has been cutting dry. Polycarb lenses cut dry, where plastic or high index cut wet. But this is nice, being unbreakable lenses. If anything happens, if someone's mowing, a rock gets thrown up from traffic or for anything, your lens will not crack and cut your eye. These are unbreakable lenses, the same material they make safety glasses out of. Now your lens is almost done. You still have a little bit of rough edges, so this is where I'm going to get it dirty. This is my hand stone. I can put my hand on it while it's running, and just the friction makes it warm. But that same friction is what smooths it out, that white powdery substance that you see around the edge of your lens now that I'm scraping off, and I do this so much in the course of a day. I've worn a V-shaped bevel into my thumbnail from doing that. But once all of it has been removed from your lens, and it's called Schwarf, that is the possible name, but once all the Schwarf is removed, I get it collected on the counter, and then I wipe it on the floor, because this is where I have fun and say, in every video, kids, stay in school. I went to school for years to learn how to make a mess. If you want to make a mess like me, stay in school. So let's see if this fits. I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner, then using my thumbs, press down at the nose, and that snaps in there perfectly. I'm going to do the same thing now for the left lens. Flip that over to left and hit start. Let me turn it the right way up. Although being non-prescription, it doesn't matter which way I put it in there. And just like before, the caliper is going to come down and now trace the shape of your left lens to make sure that this lens is large enough to cut out. And once this is done, I'm going to show you how I activate your lenses and turn them dark, so you'll be able to see that in the video. Now tracing the concave side. Convex, excuse me. See, I'm getting confused. I need my 8th cup of coffee today. I'm putting in some 15-hour days to get everything shipped. I'm not complaining. I love what I do. I'm just letting you guys know what I go through. Putting in some 100-hour weeks. I'm trying to cut back to 80 hours a week because my wife says I get cranky when I work 100 hours a week. I don't know what she means by that. Okay, so this block is no longer needed. I'm going to take this off. Pull off this little black sticky pad and have this ready to go for the next pair. This blue sticker is no longer needed. I'm going to pull that off. And as soon as we're done, we'll make sure the left fits perfectly. The lens is starting to take shape. This whole process takes about 15 minutes. It's now 7:50 on Wednesday, May 7th. 74 degrees in my hometown of Durham, North Carolina. You guys in Singapore can look it up. North Carolina, my town, is halfway between Washington, D.C. and Atlanta, Georgia. It's also halfway between Miami and New York City. New York City! Here on the East Coast. If you notice, your lens is still completely flat, like a nickel, which is a coin here in America. It would stand up on its own if I took it out. Now the bevel is going onto the lens. You notice there is water running in the background and now in the foreground. But again, polycarbonate lenses cut dry. This is the first time water has touched this lens the whole time it's been cutting. I should drink a little of that. Okay, maybe I won't. I'll try my hand off there. Dizzy in Singapore, Malaysia, I would love to come visit you and personally deliver these. Yours is one country I've always wanted to come to. Sadly, it's been in the news for a couple months with the Flight 370 being missing. I know you guys are doing everything you can to try and find it. At least now Americans know where Malaysia is. Sadly, we're so ignorant we don't know what a country is until we start bombing it, because that's how we roll here. But that's not everyone here in America, just certain political parties. So again, I'm going to smooth out the rough edges. Oh, I'm getting a text from somebody. Hang on, let me answer this text. That is his phone number. Okay, thank you. I was trying to reach out to someone to find another optician who can help me work and get some of this work done. I did not have their phone number, so that person was helping me contact them. So now that is cleaned up, I'm going to try and insert your left lens. I tuck it in at the outside corner, which is closest to me. Then using my thumbs, oops, it's still alive. It's still alive. Using my thumbs, I press down. Is this too big? Am I going to have to? I am going to take this down another 1/10 of a millimeter. This late in the day, I should have calibrated the edger. You know, this thing runs $30,000. I recommend everyone go out and get one so they can cut lenses at home now, and they won't need me. But I should have calibrated it. The left lens starts to cut a little bit larger than the right, which is better than too small. I can always cut more off of a lens. I can never add it back on there. So I'd rather, if it's messing up, I'd rather it cut larger than smaller. But you think for $30,000 you could get one that cuts correct like it did the first time through. So it's bypassing the cutting wheel and just going back to the bevel wheel. I'm going to take a 1/10 of a millimeter off your lens. No American knows that. You know that from the metric system. But a millimeter is the distance between my thumbnails. I'm going to take 1/10 of that off around the radius of your lens. Hopefully I can still do all of this in 21 minutes. So one video will fit on YouTube. And it won't be split into two videos. Dizzy, if this does get split into two, I do apologize, but I'll send you both videos. Because I do want to show you your lenses darkening. So out comes the lens. I'm going to dry everything off. Back to the handstone. Back to the safety bevel. Back to my thumbnail, scraping all that off the edge of your lens. Now let's try and get this inserted. I'm going to tuck this in at the outside corner closest to me, then using my thumbs, press down, and it snaps right in. So I'm going to take this block off since it is no longer needed, pull that sticker off. And one thing I want to do before I darken the lenses is get the frame in standard alignment. At least here in America, 99% of all optical shops do free adjustments. I hope it's the same case in Singapore. So if these are too loose or too tight or one side sits higher than the other, because 80% of people have one ear that's higher than the other, I'm no different. Mine wobble when I put them on the counter, and this is the blue crystal, which goes with my blue pinstripe shirt. But I'm going to put yours on the counter, place my thumbs down, there is no wobble. I'm going to flip it over, do the same thing, there is no wobble. I'm going to make sure that each temple overlaps perfectly, and they do, and the same amount of tension on each side. By the way, I will be including one of mine. You will be getting your own RayBan cleaning cloth with this purchase, but I'm going to include one of mine, as well as instructions on how to make your cleaning cloth and leather case last you for years. I'm also going to include a selfie request so that you can take your picture, send it to me, and I'll put it on the website. So for now, these are your lenses as they are clear. I'm going to put them in my little transitions unit, which has a strong ultraviolet lamp, and turn it on. Now it takes about 30 to 45 seconds for transition lenses to darken. It's a little bit slower when you come back inside, 45 seconds to a minute 15. As you can see, all transition lenses will get dark on day one. Give them 2 weeks of constant exposure, and they're going to continue to darken every day for the first few weeks until they get to their final setting. After that, they will work for years with maximum performance. The only time they will not work is if you're in a windshield of a traditional car. Your windshield absorbs all the sun's ultraviolet rays, so your lenses won't darken. The reason they do that is so your dashboard doesn't crack from sitting in the sun or your upholstery doesn't rot. Now, if you have a convertible or a motorcycle, your lenses will darken, just not behind the windshield of a traditional car. It is temperature sensitive, meaning that once it gets into the 90s, upper 90s to 100, they just don't get as dark as they do when it's 85 and below. I tell everyone they're miserable, you're miserable when it's that dark, everyone's miserable. Now, don't worry, they are going to continue to darken every day for the first 2 weeks so they get to their final setting. If anyone has any questions just about what I can and can't do, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com or click the contact me button on the website. Dizzy in Singapore, Malaysia, I hope you enjoyed watching your glasses being made. And everyone else, I hope you had the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.